Welcome back to another fishing adventure, and today's going to be an adventure for sure. Let me show you something. You see that? I'm traveling south, and I'm traveling pretty far south. I'm traveling south in search of warmer water. The ice has melted off most of the lakes around here, but the water temp is still in the 30s, so I'm heading south. It's a long drive. And I'll explain more when I get there. Thanks for watching. Alright, I made it, folks, and first things first, got to get baited up, get baits in the water. Then I'll do some more explaining about what I'm doing here today, what the tactic is and stuff like that. Let's get to the baits. The hook baits are going to be banana tiger nuts. These are leftover from last year. I made them last fall and didn't even use any of them. I didn't fish the whole month of October last year for other reasons. Didn't have time, so I've got all these. They're perfectly good. They've been stored in the fridge all winter. Banana tiger nuts. And then the same deal with these are just as old. Used a little bit of these. This is a sriracha, boiled feed corn, maize. Almost forgot to put bait stoppers on. This is what happens at the beginning of the year. Haven't fished for a few months and kind of forgotten about some of the routines. Pack bait. Yeah, I was getting ready to cast it out without putting any pack bait on. Just kind of rusty, you know. Plus, I guess I'm a little bit excited just because I have been fishing once or twice this year, but this is the first fishing trip where I actually have any reasonable expectation of actually catching a fish. So the previous times so far this year were just, you know, just to get outside, basically, do a little fishing. But I'm hoping to catch a fish today. This pack bait is the same pack bait that I made on my first video of the year, skunk video, fishing for grass carp. Didn't catch anything. This is a bait that I made that day. That was about 2 weeks ago. It's been in the fridge. And it's just oats and sweet feed pellets and canned corn and cream corn. So this is what I'm doing on all three of my lines. I decided to go with the spicy feed corn on all three of them. There's the rig, 99% rig going out. And my focus today is going to be this shoreline out here. I'm in a corner of the lake here. And that shoreline, I'm going to put 2 baits along that shoreline there, and then another one kind of just to the left of that. And as I said, I'll explain more of the reasoning why here in a little bit. Yeah, it's not very deep there. 3-4 feet maybe. And this one's going to go in the same spot, just a little farther down. I don't want to get too close to that shoreline because it looks like there's a bunch of tree branches in there in the water right next to the bank. This third one, think I changed my mind. I'm going to put this one over to the left just a little bit, just kind of out in no man's land. Who knows? I just I think having too many off to the same side's asking for trouble. So yeah, I traveled a few hours south from my home. The lakes and the ponds and stuff around my home are ice-free, but the water's still real cold. It's in the 30s. Real slow fishing. It's just almost not even worth your time to do it. And so I thought I'd take the day, head south. In my experience, down here in southern Iowa is about 2 to 3 weeks usually ahead on spring weather goes. You know, their average temps are higher. You know, their average temps over the last week or so has been, you know, between 4 and 6 degrees higher on daily highs than where I'm from. So I thought it was worth it to come down here, maybe find. I think the water is above 40 here. It's definitely in the 30s back home, but maybe I should get the thermometer out and test the water here. I just washed my hands a couple times. It feels like it's above 40. But I let the wind dictate where I fished today when I got here. I've never been here before, so you can only learn so much from satellite images, and especially when the satellite images are like 6 years old. You never know. And there is quite a few things that are different here than what I could see on the satellite. But the wind dictated it today. The place I was going to fish based on satellite images, the wind that's not right for the wind today. That would make a huge crosswind, and the wind's blowing about 15 to 20. But where I'm at here, I got my face in the wind. The wind is blowing against this shoreline and into this corner of the lake. There's all sorts of debris and things that the wind is blowing up against these shorelines here back behind me. There's all sorts of dead shad and fish along the shoreline here that have washed up. It seems shallower up here. I don't have a depth chart for this lake at all, but it just seems shallower up here. And through casting, I've got about 3-4 feet of water here, I think, which is good for this warm sunny day. It's in the upper 60s today, sun's shining, wind's blowing. And one other reason that was kind of a turn off for me over at the place where I was originally going to fish is there's a gigantic flock of snow geese hanging out over there, and I don't know how many thousands of birds there are over there. Crazy amount. And they're just like, they kind of come and land over in that area for a little while and then get up and fly around up above and then go land over in a little different area. And they're just kind of like moving around in that area over there on the other side of the lake, and I want nothing to do with that. I mean, if you've ever been beneath a big flock of geese, don't look up, because you'll get something right in your eye and probably get pooped on just being underneath them. Plus they're really loud and pretty annoying too. But anyway, I hope the fish are over here in this corner of the lake today. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I moved 2.5 hours at that first spot. There's no fish over there today. Oh, do you hear that? I'm closer to the geese flock. They just took off. Please don't fly over here. It'll start raining goose poop. Hopefully they don't come over here. No. Oh, they almost flew over me. I don't know if the GoPro's picking that up, but they're mostly over there. They're just barely away from me. I'm not underneath them yet. Hopefully they don't come over here. Crazy. I'm sure they're heading north. I think that place where I was at before, super shallow, that whole bay, I think. Just washing my hands, the water is noticeably colder over here. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to get closer to some deeper water. I think it's too early. It's still middle of March. It's too early for them to be going up into the shallows, I think. Yeah, that's probably 6 or 7 feet deep right here. Well, folks, the sun is going down, and looks like I'm a little early. Clearly the fish aren't moving around yet. It's only March 16th. Maybe I should have driven further south. But maybe I'll try this again next week. We'll see. On to the next one. Well, while I'm getting baited up for this fishing session, let me tell you a little story. A long time ago, in a place called the Upper Midwest, they used to have this thing called 4 seasons. And they had 4 seasons every year: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And then one day, spring decided to call a meeting with the other seasons. So he sent them all a text message, and he said, "Hey guys, we need to talk." So spring, summer, fall, and winter all got together at the local Starbucks, sat around a table with their coffees, and summer said, why are you calling us here to meet, man? I got sun tanning to do. This better be good." And spring said, "Well, called you guys, got you guys together because I'm announcing my retirement." He said, I've been doing this a lot of years. I'm getting pretty old, and I think it's about time. Besides, you know, I really only work about 2 months out of the year anyway. I really only work during April and May. And fall said, "Oh, come on, man, what about me? You're just gonna leave me as the only transition season?" And spring said, Yep, sorry buddy, you're on your own with these two." So immediately winter and summer started thinking and kind of arguing about who's gonna take over spring's duties. And after a couple hours of debating, they decided that winter was gonna take over April and summer will take over May. So from now on, winter would just go on all the way until the end of April, and then 1st of May it would abruptly turn into summer. And they decided that this was going to begin in 2022. So 2022 would be the first year in the Upper Midwest with no spring. And so it was. In April of 2022, the air was cold, the wind blew non-stop. It seemed like summer tried to inch his way in a couple of times, but overall the winter prevailed throughout April, and the season of spring enjoyed his retirement. And apparently they didn't consult the fishermen or the turkey hunters when they decided to get rid of spring. So Mr. Spring, if you're watching this, I hope you're enjoying your retirement, but I hope you'll strongly encourage coming back. We miss you. Okay, so I just baited up with some old bait that's been in the fridge for a week or two. Time to make some fresh old-fashioned oats sweet feed pellets. I think I'm going to add some grits to the mix today, just for fun. Whole packet. These are butter flavored instant grits. Just to add some really small particles. For flavor, I think I'm going to add, I don't know, let's see, let's put some dry flavor in. How about some of this brown sugar bourbon seasoning? Yeah, we gotta open up the other side. Need a lot. There we go. Nice big pile. I'm sure this stuff's got a lot of salt and sugar in it. And then a can of cream corn. In with the cream corn. And that's it. Cream corn brown sugar bourbon seasoning, oats, grits, sweet feed. That's it. Let that sit for 10 minutes, be good to go. Lots of people ask why I use a bag and why don't I use a bucket. And there's several reasons, but the main one is a bucket doesn't fit in my backpack. I don't fish right by my car. I gotta walk a long ways, so yeah, bag works nice for that. And since I've got some new bait now, I'm gonna take this old bait and make some balls and chuck it out there right on top where my baits are out in the water. As you can see in this stuff, it was the exact same oats and sweet feed pellets and cream corn, but all the sweet feed pellets have broken down. So there's no pellets in there. It's all these little brown particles mixed in with the oats. And it'll stick together like that. But then those sweet feed pellets, they don't stick to anything really. So when this goes out in the water, I can pack this tight, and throw this out in the water, and it'll just melt within a matter of minutes. Pretty cool. There we are. 6.5 bait balls. Well, welcome back. It's April 28th and it is 46 degrees with a wind chill of 37. And why wouldn't it be, right? It's still April. That means it's still winter, according to the new seasons, right? What's in the bucket, you might be asking? Well, why don't I show you? Inside the bucket is, ta-da, a bunch of sweet feed and a spot. Yeah, I broke down and bought a commercially made spot. I thought I'd give it a try. We'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little spotting today with sweet feed, and because I'm gonna be here all day. It's about 11 a.m. I'm probably gonna stay here as long as I can stand it. So I'm gonna throw out some of this and then get the baits in the water after that. It's my first time using one of these things. I've always just used my own homemade version. Let's see here. I guess the this part can't have any feed in it because that's where the mechanism is, and oh, I guess if a pellet gets caught down in there, then it won't close. That's not very convenient. So I can just like drop like a tiny handful in there. I guess that's what I get to throw out. My homemade one holds about 3 times as much. I suppose this will be lighter and cast it farther. Also be more aerodynamic, I'm sure. Not going too far out today. Got the wind at my back, so I don't have to cast that hard. That went quite a bit farther than I hoped. It opened up right away. I can see that it's open. It sure is. Oh, now it just sunk. Stay on top of the water there, buddy. But as long as it stays on top of the water, it is a lot easier to reel in than my homemade version. It skips across the water a little easier. Oh, it didn't open. I thought for sure it opened, but look, it didn't even open. Oh, come on. Try one more cast before I mess with it. Yep. Okay, we got a deployment that time. This is going to take a long time. As much feed as I want to get out there. Throwing it out a little handful at a time. And And I'm not measuring the distance or anything. I'm just casting. I'm going to cast in 3 general areas of where I'm going to have my 3 baits. I'm not trying to fish my rig just directly on top of a pile of bait or anything like that. I'm just trying to put some scent in the water and just hopefully catch, if any fish are coming through, to get them to slow down and stop and poke around here right in front of me and maybe find one of my baits. In the past, I've had people complain about these sweet feed, these know-it-all people talking about these bits of corn in here that are going to kill a fish. This is going to kill a fish? Sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, unless you got some proof, that sounds like nonsense to me, man. Sounds like nonsense. I'll tell you a couple facts about carp. They don't have a stomach, okay? So if you want to say that, oh, their stomach gets all full of corn and they die from it, well, they don't have a stomach. So there's that, okay? And, around here, they eat a lot of corn. All these water bodies around here, and pretty much everywhere in the Midwest, is surrounded by cornfields. And there's all sorts of ways that pieces of that corn, lots, and even truckloads sometimes, get spilled into creeks and lakes and rivers. And guess what? You don't see big piles of dead fish floating up. It just doesn't happen. There's a similar thing about birds. I think I've heard it before too. You're not supposed to throw rice at weddings because the birds will eat it and swell up and kill them. And that's been disproven. Also, that's just a myth. Something that somebody made up because they think it sounds like something. Yeah. And I've actually done some Googling on the topic. When somebody on my channel was claiming that I'm killing fish by throwing this out, I did about 2-3 hours of research, and I didn't find anything that specifically said that is harmful to fish. I did find something from an aquaculture website that was talking about best practices for farming fish, and they were talking about carp specifically, and they did recommend that if you're going to feed carp grains, that you should crush the grains first to help with nutritional absorption, but it made no mention of harm to the fish if you're feeding it whole dried grains. So if there is some kind of a scientific study that you know of that you can direct me to that even talks about anything like that, I'd love to know about it. But I got a feeling that the reason why there are no actual studies on that topic is because if you said that topic to a marine biologist, they wouldn't even bother researching, because they can just tell you off the top. They just go, no, that doesn't. Why would that hurt fish? That's silly. Why would I waste time doing an extensive study about something that's just common sense, you know? I mean, carp is the most popular sport fish in the world. So you would think that, if this were a scientific thing, if there were certain things that you could kill carp with by feeding them, there would be scientific proof, wouldn't you think? But there's all sorts of studies about the diet and habits of other popular sport fishes like trout and bass and walleyes and catfish, and you would think that with the carp being the most popular sport fish in the world, that there would be scientific evidence that's easily findable on such a topic. Today I'm going to use my super fruity boilies for hook bait. If you want the recipe for those, go back 2-3 videos or so. Just published a video where I made these recently. Also lots of colorful chunks of cereal in there. And really, the main reason why I reached for these today instead of the other things that I brought is that my hands are freezing, and these are just easier to put on their hair with frozen hands. And poof, just like that, we are magically whisked away to a different place in time. Isn't that special? We just had some live action on this rod. We just pulled some drag and now the line is slack. Fish on. Oh my goodness. And I was just totally like, I've been fighting the urge to leave for last hour or so. Probably was planning on leaving about an hour ago. This is a big fish. The weight is there. It's going to the left. He's just going off to the left. I'm not going to talk very much because I'm really excited to have this fish on the line. Oh, there he is. Oh, no. It jumped out up out of the water like a bass and shook its head and shook the hook. It was a big common carp. I don't know if this camera on my chest got a glimpse of it or not. It was a big golden common carp. The agony of defeat. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident today. I'll go ahead and get the mat out. Did you ever have one of those days where you go out fishing just knowing that you're gonna catch a fish today? Today's one of those days. Did you ever have one of those days where you just know that you're gonna catch fish? And then you fish for 5 hours and you don't catch a damn thing? It's one of those days. Yeah, this is real. Okay. See him out there right on the surface. I think I've been here a little over an hour. It's cold today again, of course. It's always cold. It's the 4th of May. High of 59 today, and we got 15-mile-an-hour wind. I got a big fish on the line here. The weight is there. Feels like heavy fish. It's not really fighting right now. It's just kind of cruising in. It's coming straight in. He's coming right in. It's definitely a common carp. Oh yeah. Gold fin just came out of the water right there. I'm just gonna be, as long as this guy's not swimming through my other lines or heading for any snags on either side of me, I'm just gonna leave the drag pretty loose here and just let him wear himself out right here in front of me. I had a fish on the line just like this the other day, and he took off and jumped out of the air and shook his head like a bass and shook the hook. That was pretty wild. I don't see that very often. This is taking a while. My heart's racing. I was sitting here feeling pretty cold. I'm not cold anymore. Oh yeah, that's a good big fish. It's a nice big fish. Come on in here, buddy. Come on. Nope, not yet. Big tail, big tail. Bye-bye. See you later. Come on. Get in the net. In the net. Holy, I caught a fish. Call the Pope. It's a miracle. This fish is quite a bit bigger than I thought it was originally. I'm thinking this fish is going to be 20 at least. This fish bit on a triple stack of feed corn on a hair rig. And he was hooked just like he's supposed to be, right in the bottom lip, right in the nice tough part of the lip, so that's good. There we go. Yeah, 20 pounds, 12 ounces with the net. Whew, first fish for 2022. I'm gonna go ahead and call this a 20-pound fish. It's pretty darn close to 20. Get a better grip on him here. Good looking fish, huge tail, really long fight. I have been fishing and fishing and fishing. This is May 4th and I'm finally catching the first fish. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. Let me put this fish back in the water, and I'll explain to you what kind of bait I'm using today and what my carp fishing has been like so far this year. He should be ready. He's only out for a minute or two. Bye bye. Thank you. See you next time. First things first, got to get baited back up and get that line back out. So the bait that fish was caught on is some butterscotch flavored boiled feed corn. If you want to know how I make this flavored feed corn, there's a video on that on my channel, and this is just some store-bought flavoring from the grocery store, and it's just soaking the corn in it. The pack bait is just a mix of oats and sweet feed pellets, and there's some boiled feed corn mixed in the pack bait also. And I think there's a can of cream corn in there too for moisture. But yeah, I got feed corn in the pack bait today also. So here's the rig. This is what I call a 99% rig because it's what I use 99% of the time. And it's basically a bolt rig. We've got a 2-ounce sinker at the top, and it's fixed in place with a bobber stop and a bead. And underneath all that pack bait is a spring feeder, and then a swivel, and a short leader, and then some corn on a hair rig. That's going out. And I just put this bait right back in the exact same spot. I threw out a bunch of sweet feed earlier when I got here. Didn't show that on video, but I threw spommed out some sweet feed in 3 different spots, kind of close to where I got my baits laying. Not sure if that had an influence in my bite or not, but I'm sure it certainly didn't hurt. And since my hands are already frozen, I might as well reel in these other ones and rebait these. So I have a bit of a confession to make. Kind of been holding out on you guys, those of you that watch my carp videos. Not really, but kind of. I kind of had it in my head all winter long that I wanted to catch a big fish on my first fish of the year. I don't know why. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I just want to. So I think the first time I went fishing for carp was like middle of March, as soon as the ice came off the lakes. And
the weather has been awful. I mean, just this is the coldest spring I've ever seen. It's just officially I'm blaming the weather for me catching my first fish on May 4th. I'm blaming the weather. But I think I did play a part in that also because I wanted to catch a big fish for my first fish. I have been fishing only places that I know to hold big fish. And part of that, these places that hold big fish, is generally speaking the fishing is usually slower than some other places that have higher populations of fish. I probably could have gone to some of the local mud hole sand pits that are just teeming with 5-pound carp and caught a bunch of fish by now. Probably. I don't know for sure. Don't get me wrong, those 5-pound fish are fun too, but I don't know, for some reason I just got it in my head that I wanted a big fish for my first fish this year. But that goal has been completed, and so now, you know, I probably will go do some fishing in some other places with higher populations of fish. So I apologize to those of you who are really aching to have a carp video right away in the spring. It's just the weather, and then me being stubborn about catching a big fish is pushed that date back to May 4th, I guess. And as you've seen for my adventures up to this point carp fishing this year, it has been quite a long road to Carpville this year, but we're finally there. Well, that's all the time I have for today. More carp fishing to come. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. I say that's about 10 feet deep there. I say that's about 15 there maybe. What I'm doing is I'm keeping the line, as soon as that bait hits the water, I'm keeping the line taut. And I'm feeling, and I'm waiting to feel when it hits the bottom, that little thunk, when you feel through the line when it hits the bottom. I'm just kind of keeping track of how long it takes to sink in my head, and it's just a guess. Yeah, about 10 there too. So I've got one off to my left, about 10 feet, one in the middle, about 15 feet, one off to my right, about 10 feet. Here we are. We are hooked up. I just pulled a tick off myself and threw it in the water, and I was watching it crawl around on the rocks down in the water. And off my rod goes. First fish, been here about 2 hours. This was on one of the lines off to the side that was in the shallower water. Real steep drop off right off here. There's a little shelf right here that goes out about 10 feet out into the water, and then it just goes whoosh. So this fish is right here, but I can't see him at all because he's down. There he is. He saw me. I don't know if he goes. No, you don't get to run that easy. Love that sound. This is no giant here, folks, but it's a good hard fighting fish. I spent all spring hunting giants. Get in the net. Gotcha. And that is a good fish. I just got this mat out, and last time I went fishing was probably about 3 days ago, and I had a 20-pound carp laying here on this mat, and I rolled it up and went home, and the mat hadn't been washed, and I just unrolled that and laid it out, and it was like hit me right in the face with like, whoa. I gotta rinse that thing off when I get home tonight. Okay, first fish of the day. I'm not gonna weigh him, 4 or 5 pounds probably. Good fight on these fish. The water's still real cold. It's been pretty slow today. Temps right now are in the mid 60s, so it's warming up fast. We got warm weather coming in the forecast. A couple days from now it's supposed to be 90, so yeah, it's just switching from winter straight to summer. This is about average size fish for this little pond here. Most of the fish I catch here are this size. There are some big ones in here. I've seen them, but they must be the smart or something, because I haven't been able to catch them. But I'm gonna keep trying. Let's put this guy back. Really clear water in this sand. Oh! Bye bye. Yeah, really clear water in this sand pits. I think that's what kind of makes the fishing difficult. I like to wash off the net in between fish. That slime gets dried on the net. Doesn't really want to come off. I don't think it really disturbs the water that much. Guess it kind of depends on where you're at. I know I've seen guys on TV on some of these places, I think maybe in South America, where they do this thing where they intentionally disturb the water, because they say that it gets the attention of fish, brings fish into the area. Not sure how true that is, but they definitely do it, and they definitely catch fish. Let me show you the bait and the rig I'm using today, what that fish bit on. If you've been here for a while, this is nothing new. This is my 99% rig, fixed sinker above the method feeder, and you know, the hair rig like I showed you. Like I said, there's a shelf here and then a drop off, and what I've done is put my bait kind of as close as I can right on that drop off, or maybe right at the bottom of the drop off, but down there, away from me. And that's where that fish came from. That's where I put my bait when I cast it back out, right back in that same place. Well, folks, it's Friday night, 5 o'clock. And well, I can't see the parking lot from where I'm at. I could hear some car doors slamming and some other noise coming from over there, and
Since this YouTube channel is called Outside with Tom, and not Outside with Tom and a bunch of other people, I think it's time for me to head out. Just one fish for tonight. It was still a good night. Good day of fishing. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Well, good morning, folks. It's about 6:45, and the carp are jumping everywhere. No time for chit chat. Got to get baits in the water. This pack bait is left over from I don't know, 3-4 days ago. I don't really remember what's in it. I know that there's oats and sweet feed and feed corn. And that's going to be the rig to start with. Got a boilie on the hair rig today for the hook bait. Seven to 10 feet, I'm guessing, the depth on that. Quite a bit deeper there. 12 to 15, I'm saying there. If I had to bet, this one over here that I'm about to cast out is going to be the first one to get hit. Yeah, more shallow over there. I bet that's 5-6 feet. All right, bait's in the water. And with this early morning fishing, I'm always kind of in a hurry to get the baits in the water, because until you have the baits in the water, you're not fishing. So in early morning like this, it's, you know, prime time. Every minute you spend setting up or fooling around with your gear or something is a minute that you're not fishing. So I don't know, I like to get the baits out, top priority, especially in the early morning like this. It's supposed to be real hot today, like 94 this afternoon. That's the main reason why I'm out here so early this morning. It's supposed to be hot and really windy this afternoon, so it's only May 12th. There's fish jumping all around me. Kind of had thought maybe that because of that, you know, maybe the fishing action would be pretty quick, but I've been sitting here an hour, and I've just seen fish after fish after fish just all over the place, right on top of where my baits are, jumping, surfacing, fish of all different sizes, jumping. I don't know. I think we got something real here. Yeah, finally. Been here over an hour. I've switched out all my baits. Well, I was in the process of switching out the third one from boilies to feed corn, because my boilies were getting stolen. I don't know what was stealing them, but I was getting pecks on the line, and I reeled in to check. My boilie is gone. This fish is right next to the bank down there. All right. Be nice if it was a mirror. I know there's a few of them in here at least. It's right here in front of me. Still haven't caught a glimpse of them yet. Just down at the bottom. Just don't want to come up. That was a pretty big tail. This might be a real good fish. Oh, that's pretty good, pretty decent fish. Come on in here, buddy. In the net. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a good looking fish. Frisky. Where's he hooked? I don't think he's hooked anymore. No, he's not hooked anymore. Got himself off the hook while he was in the net. Alright, first fish of the morning. A very excited, looks like a male common carp. He's got that long torpedo look to him. Lots of his friends are out running around this morning. There's lots of action on the top of the water. Oh, I just saw a bigger one out there. Got himself off the hook while he was hanging out in the net. That's convenient. Back in the water he goes. Boing. Go get bigger. See you next time. Or not. You can hang out if you want. There you go. Bye-bye. Fast action here. Fish on. And it is not a small fish. And he's going around the corner. I gotta go after him. There's a bunch of boulders in the water down here. I don't want him getting wrapped around one of these boulders. It's right here. This is just making me nervous. There's a big boulder in the water right there. And I know there's more out there. I've been out here with my kayak and looked at it through the sonar. Oh yeah. I need to get this guy down here where my net is. Walk him down a little bit. Really digging for the bottom. Real clear water here. Get underneath of them. Oh, almost. Got him. Nice. No real aggressive runs yet. They just kind of realize that they're hooked, and they just kind of hang out, trying to spit it. I'm sure it'd be great to have some underwater footage of what they're doing once they realize there's something wrong. They're probably just sitting there, just moving their mouth parts, maybe shaking their head a little bit, trying to. Something's not right, All right, fish 2 of the morning. A little bit smaller than that first fish, a little bit shorter fight as well. Really nothing terribly remarkable about this fish. It's just a fun little common carp. Let's put him back in the water. Look at that. Get going. Bye-bye. All right, let's do it again. Let's see some more. And that's what this fish bit on, was boiled peat corn, and I'm actually using some spicy boiled feed corn from a hook bait. Just some watered down sriracha sauce, and that cooked corn is just soaking in it. I know maybe it seems a little counterintuitive. Why would fish like spicy? And really, it doesn't matter. I don't really care about what they like. All I gotta do is get their curiosity enough to pull it into their mouth and see what it is. And then when they do that, they've also pulled the hook into their mouth, and I got them. Because clearly none of this stuff that people fish with for carp, all these crazy flavors and colors and stuff, none of that even remotely resembles what their natural food sources are. I don't think they're looking at this crazy flavored stuff as food. It's just getting their curiosity enough to pick it up off the bottom, to taste it, to see what it is. And by the time that happens, they get hooked.
we are in business. This fish has got me hung up on something. Okay. See, here's what I'm talking about. There's these down in the water too. Okay, fooling around with it long enough. I guess I'm just gonna walk with it and see if it'll break free or break. Sweet, got my rig back. Yeah, see those marks on the sinker. My sinker must have been wedged in. Got some action here. I better set it before he gets me hung up again. Casted it back out in that same spot. Alright. I'm gonna really give this fish the onions a little bit here, and I don't want to get hung up in a boulder over there again. Good, he's moving off to my left here. Away from Boulderville over there. Yeah, that's another good fish. Come on, man. That's a little bit bigger fish. Oh! Sneaky, sneaky. Come on back. Oh, man, this guy's good. Come on back. Okay. Gotcha. There's the hook right in the corner. Punk. Alright, third fish of the morning. This guy is kind of excited too. About the same as the first two, you know, 5 pounds or so, maybe. Bit in that same place where I got snagged and hung up there, the most recent bite. But 3 fish, not a bad morning. It's starting to turn into a windy sauna out here, so I'm going to call it a day. I'm going after big fish tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Let's put this guy back. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Back you go. Bye-bye. Well, this is what I came up on here. This is where I was going to fish today. I think I still will, but there are carp spawning all over the place along this bank here. See them? We'll get a little closer look. There's some right there. There's a couple right next to me. Big mama and a bunch of little men chasing her around. Yeah, this whole shoreline's just full of spawning carp. We're even going up into this tiny little creek here. There's 3 of them in this tiny little creek. There's Big Mama right there. I'd like to catch that fish someday. That looks like to be about a 15-pound fish. big mama fish and a bunch of little males chasing her around. We had heavy rain last night and the water was up high, and now there's a bunch of fish that have swam back in here in this little culvert and are basically stuck. Mostly small fish. That looks like a pretty big fish there. I bet that's a 10-pound fish. They aren't getting out of here unless we get some more rain, or they swim upstream somewhere. Anyway, I'm hoping there's some carp around here that aren't spawning yet. Only way to find out is to throw out some baits. So let's get started with the bait. All right, starting off with some old-fashioned oats and some sweet feed pellets. And let's see, what do I feel like today? How about just some basic stuff? Start with a can of cream corn. In with the cream corn. And I think I'm just going to go with some sweet. Got some expired apple juice here. I've been using this a few times this spring. I like it. Makes it really sweet. And we'll just put it all in. Really sweet, appley, corny scent. That's going to be it. Alright, let that marinate while I get my rods set up. Water's way up since last time I was here. We had heavy rains yesterday afternoon and last night. I think this is just up, just to last night. There used to be a big beach here that went out probably 20 feet, but so I'm guessing the water's up at least a couple of feet. Got these European style bank sticks this year. Nice for this because they're made out of aluminum and they won't rust from being in the water like this. If I did this with my other rod holders, they'd make them rust real fast if you let them sit in the water like this. Hook baits today are going to be spicy sriracha boiled feed corn and banana soaked tiger nuts. I like the tiger nuts at this place because there's lots of bullheads, and any hook bait like a boilie or sweet corn, anything that's soft, just gets picked right off of the hair by the bullheads. And these are nice and hard. They're not coming off of that hair. And by hard, I'm talking about, they're probably about, if you've never used tiger nuts, when they're boiled and prepared like this, they're probably about the consistency of a nut, like an almond, you know. So I'm doing 2 with tiger nuts and 1 with feed corn. So here it is, cream corn, apple juice, oats, and the tiger nuts on the hair rig. This is a bolt rig. Now I'm gonna cast these baits out pretty far, just to kind of get out a little farther. It seems like most of the spawning fish are probably going to be close here to the shoreline. I'm seeing fins coming out of the water even, 30-40 feet off the bank here. So I'm going to get these out there probably, I don't know, 50 yards or so. That's kind of where I wanted to, that's where I would have cast it anyway, even if there wasn't spawning happening today. Got overhanging trees here. Got to kind of do a sidearm cast to go out this way. Bam. Super shallow there. Probably 2 feet deep right there. 40 yards out. Got a little bit deeper there, maybe 3 feet.
I just saw quite a large fish go up this creek. Like, not one of those small ones. I think it's a big female trying to get away from the males. Yeah, that's a big fish right there. Yeah, that's probably a 12-pound fish, my guess. Going back in the lake? Probably should. You can't go much farther. Yeah, you got rid of those boys, didn't you? He's gonna hide right there. Bye-bye. So I've read in Europe, in places, carp fishing is prohibited during the spawn, and that's not the case here. These fish literally have hardly any pressure on them at all. They have no problem at all maintaining their populations here. But the thing is, I just still don't really understand the reasoning behind why fishing during spawn is prohibited. I can understand why fishing during spawn for some other species is prohibited in places or frowned upon, because different species, you know, like bass or catfish, will like guard a nest. They'll lay their eggs in a crevice or a hole or something, and either the male or the female will guard that nest until the eggs, finish their process. And so if you're fishing and you pull that fish off the nest, then, you know, other animals can come in and eat up those fish eggs, and, you know, that's bad for the fish population. But carp are not like that at all. They don't do any nesting. They just kind of throw their eggs out willy-nilly. There's no guarding of eggs or anything. They just kind of fling them out everywhere. So I'm not sure how fishing for a carp or catching a carp that's spawning would have any negative impact on the population of the brood of fish. But I'd be interested to hear what the reasoning is for those no fishing during spawn rules in some places. If you know about it, feel free to share it in the comment. I got something big here, folks. Holy cow. This is heavy, 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 heavy. A lot of times I make the bait at home before I head out to fish wherever I'm going to fish. That's what I'm doing today. Just thought I'd show you that. First, I got some old-fashioned oats. I'm going to pour in about half this container. I just opened this container. This is a 42-ounce container, so put about half of it in this bag. And I don't measure, I just guess. This is not an exact science. The fish don't care. And some sweet feed. I just keep a little bit in this old oats container just for making pack bait here. Again, no measurements. Putting some in. And a can of creamed corn. Ouch. Dang it. Watch out for those can lids. Alright, the next ingredient is going to be some boiled feed corn. I just keep this stored in the refrigerator. And it's cooking liquid. Just ladle a little bit of it out into the pack bait. And this stuff will last for months in the refrigerator. If you put it in these containers when it's hot, and then seal it up and put it in the fridge, it'll last for months. I had some in the fridge all winter, and ended up using it earlier this spring. And for added flavor and sweetness, I'm gonna just add some apple juice. Not that much, because I don't want this to be too wet. That's probably good enough. That's it. Seal it up. Get the air out of the bag here. You need to have air in the bag when you mix it, so that the stuff can fall around inside the bag. Get the air out. Hold it up. It goes in the tackle bag. Alright, let's go fishing. So, yesterday's high was 90, and today's high is 68. So that's a pretty drastic change in weather. My expectations for the fishing today is not that great. And no flavored hook baits today. I'm just pulling some of this boiled feed corn out of the pack bait. I really like doing that. I like fishing with the same hook bait as what's in my pack bait. And I think when you're fishing with pack bait like this, like I am here, whether or not you have a flavor on your hook bait, whether that makes a difference, I think it's pretty debatable. I kind of lean towards the notion that it doesn't make much of a difference if you're fishing it right next to a pile of pack bait like that. I mean, there's guys that they put a plastic bead on their hook for a hook bait and they catch fish. So, or plastic corn. A lot of people will use fake plastic corn that has no scent at all. So I don't know. I do like using scented hook baits though. It kind of makes me feel like I'm doing something, so I'm sure it doesn't hurt anything. But more and more often, I'm finding myself just whatever's in my pack bait, just making that the hook bait. Sometimes my pack bait doesn't have anything chunky in it that can work good for a hook bait. I'm only putting 2 baits out right now because the third rod has a hook that's kind of bent out from a snag from last time. I'm gonna change out that hook first. Pretty deep here. Yeah, deep. I'm guessing 17 feet. I don't know. It's deep. Probably in 5-6 feet there, over there close to the bank. Yeah, that hook got bent out last time I was fishing. Got caught on a rock, I think. I just keep my hair eggs pre-tied here, wrapped around this little tackle buddy thing. Just pre-tied onto a short little 1.5 leader onto a swivel. And just slide my sinker up the line. Cut the main line to get rid of this bent out hook. Tie the main line to the new. Back to fishing. Yeah, it's hard to tie knots when you got a band-aid on your finger. There we go. I tie a clinch knot when I connect the main line to the swivel. Ouch, sharp. And the last carp fishing I did, they were spawning at that lake. But that lake is quite a bit shallower than this here. So I'm hoping that they aren't quite ready to spawn yet here. The water's a little colder. And I haven't seen any activity of spawning fish here. I don't see anything happen along the shorelines or anything. So I don't think they're spawning yet here. I got something big here, folks. Holy cow. This is heavy, 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 heavy. I'm moving it. I'm not snagged. I thought for a second I was snagged. I am definitely moving it. Oh man. I wonder if it's a big turtle or something. It does not fight it until just that. I don't know, I'm kind of speechless here. That first drag pulling. Oh, now I'm snagged. Oh. What in the world? That first run of drag pulling is all the fighting it did. And ever since then, it's just been weight. And now I'm snagged. I've been snagged here before. I think there's some old mining equipment down there. I think I'm just gonna leave it for a few minutes. If there's still a fish attached, maybe that fish can work its way out a little bit. Just gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. Well, whatever it was powerful fish, whatever it was. I don't know, but nothing else is happening. Whatever it was got away. Let's pull on the line, see if I can get the rig back. Well, something like broke loose. I got some line back. So let me reel it up. Something gave way, but I'm still snagged. Alright. Let's try this again. This is one of the many useful things of having a tent stake in your tackle bag. Oh, the line didn't break. It gave way again. I wonder if I'm pulling in a big tree branch or something. Yeah, the line didn't break. Whatever I'm on moved. Oh, now I'm bringing it in. It's coming in, whatever it is. It's heavy. I bet it's a tree branch. Yep. It is. It is a dandy too. Oh, there's a fish attached to it. The fish is still on there. Holy crap. That's a new one for me. See that fish? Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, that poor fish is still on there. I don't know how. Yeah, he's hooked. Okay. This is a new mess. Alright. Better get the net. Let's get the net involved. See if I can get it more tangled. Alright. I'm gonna get this fish in the net. Okay, fish is in the net. Alright. That's a pretty big branch. This is one of the stranger catches that I've ever had. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this figured out here. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and get the hook out of this guy here. There we go. Sorry, his lip is messed up, but nothing I can do about that. Okay. Well, this poor fish was all wrapped up in that big branch for a while there. I'm gonna go ahead and just get him back in the water. Not gonna do a weight or anything. Long torpedo fish. Crazy how long this fish is. But let's put him back. Back you go. Yeah, it was weird for you too, I'm sure. See you later. I thought for sure there was some mining equipment down there, some cables or something. I've been snagged down there quite a few times. There must be a tree down there, and I broke off one of the branches. I'll show you the end of this tree. And this is one of these deals. Ooh, I almost got the hook in my thumb. This is one of these deals where you just need to cut the line, start over. I want to save my rig though. It really is amazing how little damage there is to my line here. I thought I was going to have to cut it all, everything that was in the water, but most of it is undamaged except for maybe the last foot or so. So that's pretty cool. 20-pound monofilament. It's tough stuff. So here's the catch of the day. I'd say it's a little over 7.5, maybe 8 feet tall. Probably weighs about 10 pounds. Whoops. There's the end that I broke off. There's probably a whole tree down there somewhere. This is not going back in the water. Yeah, that was one of the weirder catches. Fun, fun, fun. Real world fishing adventures. I bet they're not going to show you stuff like that on the Pursuit channel. If this happens to you, don't be one of those jerks that leaves a bunch of fishing line laying on the bank. Just wind it up. If you don't have a place to put it, just put it in your pocket. Throw it away when you get home. Easy peasy. Oh. Oh man. That was a fierce run. Fish on, fish on. Has some good weight to it. And I am kind of horsing him a little bit because I'm going to be dragging him right across where that snag is. And he's not really fighting me much anymore. Where's the net? Where are you at? Oh, it's a big fish. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Don't get too excited here. Okay. All right, it's a good fish. It's not giant. That peel and drag scared the crap out of me. It was all quiet. Got him. Got him. That's a real good fish. Real good fish. Yeah, that's a real good fish. See how I'm covering his eyes like that? That seems to help keep them calm so they don't thrash around so much. Alright, got it. Makes me so nervous until that hook is out of the equation. It's nerve-wracking. I've been hooked before. It's not fun. Alright, second fish of the day. Bigger fish. I would say this fish is pushing 10 pounds. Good looking fish. That peel and drag just scared the crap out of me. It's all quiet around here and just zzz. There he is, second fish of the day. They're not spawning here at this lake. Back in the water. There you go, sir. You're free to leave. Oh, darn it, his fin's caught. There. Bye-bye. See ya. Well, both of those fish came from that same spot over there in that shallow corner. And I suppose that tree down in there helps with being a fish attractor also. I'm going to throw this one back in the same spot. And I'm going to double down on that, and I'm going to move one of my other rods over closer to that same spot where this one's going. I had no bites on the baits that are out in the deeper stuff. Yes, sir. This is not the rod I was expecting to get hit, but here we are. Once again, the drag scared the crap out of me. Even though I had headphones on, I was watching something on my phone. I didn't have it up very loud. Ah, these rocks are treacherous. Okay. This fish is being pretty nice to me here. He's just letting me just bring them on in here. Oh, another fish just got spooked. Just saw some other fish just hightail it out of here. Yeah, that's a good fish. There's rocks over here. Gotcha. Another nice fish. Well, another dandy of a fish. I'm not going to weigh this fish either. He's a little smaller than that second one. 6-7 pounds I'll give it. But yeah, good fight on this fish. He bit over by the out of the deeper stuff along the rocks. Complete opposite of where the first two fish came from. So I think they're just feeding all over the place today. Getting that pre-spawn feed bag going on. And that's all the time I have for today. I'm going to call it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Get your nose out of there, buddy. There you go. Bye-bye. Look at all that water. It's a windy day, and I've never fished this spot before for carp. So I don't know what's going to happen. The hook bait today is going to be spicy tiger nuts. These are just tiger nuts that are soaking in some hot sauce for a long time. Real spicy, real flavorful. And they're really tough. They stay on the hook really well. Nuisance fish can peck at it all they want, and it is not coming off the hair. That's pretty good for that hair. I just kind of match the bait to the hook size and kind of how long my hair is. I tie these hair rigs myself, so they're not all exactly the same. Some are maybe a couple millimeters longer than the other on the hair loop. There's that one. And this pack bait, made it yesterday, and then because I was going to go fishing, but then I didn't. But this is oats and boiled feed corn and sweet feed pellets and cream corn. And I'm only throwing out 2 right now because the third line has a hook that's all messed up from, believe it or not, some kayaker hooked one of my lines the other day. Paddling by, hooked one of my lines, and the hook got caught on their kayak, and I just deleted that video because honestly I just didn't want to relive it in the editing process. Probably would have been entertaining for you to watch, But it was a miserable day, full of jet skis and kayaks, and just didn't want to relive it. That's what I get for trying to go fishing on Memorial Day weekend. Alright, here it is. 99% rig. Pack bait on a spring feeder. Tiger nuts on a hair rig. I don't know if they're spawning here or not. I'm hoping they're done. We're gonna find out. Not casting out very far. And I just felt it hit the bottom. It's probably only 4 or 5 feet deep there. Maybe 30 yards off the bank here. Yeah, here's that goofed up hook. I don't know if I've ever had a hook bend out like that before. Bend in, I guess. Whatever. Decided to go back to just using a piece of foam to keep my hair rigs organized. Tackle buddy thing works okay, but it's done. I'm back to foam. I know they make fancy rig wallets that you can get that I'm sure they're nice. They look nice, but I just like to keep it simple. I want something that fits in this little box. Everything I need is just in this little box here. Keep it simple. Yeah, this spool is running a little low on line. I guess I better re-spool this line too. I lost a lot of line Memorial Day weekend. Come on, let's go find a place that's not quite as windy. Just moving about 50 yards down the bank here, around the corner, out of the wind a little bit, just past the landfill. There's the landfill. Nice, huh? Yeah, the wind is just getting a little too gusty over there. I think it's gusting around 30 now, and it's just unpleasant to be there, and if it's unpleasant to be out fishing, then what's the point, right? Some action here. Action, action, action. Yes. We have a fish on. Probably is a catfish, is my guess. Where are you at? Oh yeah, you're over here today. Because I moved. It's feeling very catfishy. Yes, indeed. Little Charlie Channel cat here. Just about finishing up 3 hours of fishing here, and haven't had any carp action at all. Little channel cat. It's time to move. Well, I just got to the new spot, and unfortunately, look at what I discovered when I get here. Right there's some. I don't know if this camera is going to get it because of the glare. I can see them real good with my polarized lenses on. There's spawning happening here. There's dozens of carp moving around in the shallows right along the bank here. Let me find some more. There's a large fish right there. I don't know if you can pick it up. I hope that camera's getting it. That's a big fish just hanging out right there. They're just kind of moving in and out. Oh, there he goes. Bye-bye. There's a bunch of fish right in this little cove right here. Oh yeah, there's several of them. Yeah, they're right in front of me. Oh, there's a big fish right there. Can you see him? I can see him good with my polarized glasses on. There's a huge fish right there. That is a grass carp too. Anyway, I'm still gonna fish, so let's give it a try. I'm gonna go with some banana flavored corn here at this place today, mostly because there's grass carp in here, and I think grass carp would be more likely to eat some corn than a tiger nut. Lots of splashing going on over there along the bank. That's not where I'm putting my baits. I'm trying to catch some fish that are maybe off away from the active spawning action. Hopefully it works out. My rig felt like it was getting hit by bass and bluegill and stuff as it was sinking. A little bunk, 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 bunk as it was sinking to the bottom. Well, I don't think it's going to happen here today, and I think they're probably spawning at the big lake I was at earlier too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to that shallow lake that I was at where they were spawning 2 weeks ago. They were spawning in that lake 2 weeks ago. They should be done by now, so I'm going to head over to that lake and give it a shot, but that is going to be tomorrow, so stay tuned. Okay, I'm just getting baited up here using yesterday's bait. It's about 9:30 in the morning, and it's gonna be a nice day, high of like 77, sunshine, and not a cloud in the sky. A nice day. Whether or not it's a nice day for fishing, we're about to find out. I haven't seen any spawning activity. I have seen some carp activity, but nothing that looks like spawning, splashing around along the shorelines and stuff like that. That was 2 weeks ago when that was going down here at this lake. So I'm thinking they should be done. We're about to find out. Well, I casted my first bait in and just spooked at least 2 or 3 fish that were right there. So that's a good sign, I think. Lots of overhanging trees here, and got boulders lying in the bank here, so a little bit of treachery happening here as far as casting, and then yeah, bringing in a fish here, climbing around on these boulders will be just add a little adventure to the mix. Oh yeah, pretty shallow here. Feels like about 3 or 4 feet deep. And like I said yesterday, this is a shallow lake, probably only about 8 feet deep at its maximum. So it's gonna warm up faster than these other 2 lakes I were at yesterday that were a little deeper, a little bigger. The water's still a little cool there. Oh man. That when I threw that bait in, there were like 10 swirls in the on the surface. I think there's just carp all over the place in here. This is I'm getting a little excited. And whether those fish were 2 pounds or 20 pounds, that remains to be seen. So in case you're not familiar with carp spawning behavior, the way it works is the water temperature is what cues them and tells them when it's time to spawn. And it kind of varies between region, you know, what temperature it is, but we're not talking about that. What I'm talking about is just generally speaking, when the water warms up in the spring, that gives them their cue to start their spawning. And so the shallower lakes that warm up faster, the spawn will happen earlier. And the deeper lakes that don't warm up as quickly, that spawn will happen, you know, a few weeks later. And so another thing with their spawning is that they don't have their natural feeding behavior when they're spawning. When they're spawning, that's all, they're just laser sighted on that task, and they don't really do much feeding. They do eat a little bit, I think, but they don't eat as much as they normally do. So fishing for them is difficult. You don't catch many because they're just not feeding very much. They're focused on their mating rituals. So in the early season, shallow lakes like this, the water warms up quicker. The spawn will happen earlier in a shallow lake like this. And so I was here 2 weeks ago. They were spawning. I didn't bother wasting my time fishing here anymore. I went to different lakes that are deeper, and the water hasn't warmed up yet, so the fish haven't started spawning yet. So that's the only way I know of to catch fish during the spawn, is just kind of spot hop around to find places where they aren't spawning yet. And then towards the end of the spawn, I do the opposite. Right now they're spawning in the deeper lakes, which means there's a good chance that they're all done here in these warmer lakes. So now I'm back here at the warmer lake, trying to catch fish that are done with their spawn and looking to put the feed bag back on. So that's the general idea of how I like to fish for carp in the spawn times. I have caught spawning carp before. I think you can catch fish that are spawning, but in my experience it's not very productive, and kind of find that my time would be better spent doing something else. But I don't know that they're done spawning here for sure. I think they are, but there's really only one way to find out, and so soak some baits. Yeah, as you could probably tell, some people showed up and were there to do some family fishing, and that's good. Good for them. No big whoop. But I like my peace and quiet, so I decided to pick up and move over to a more secluded place. Kind of tough to cast here, but I'll get it done. Really shallow over there, maybe a foot. Gonna be all sidearm casts over here, I think. Probably can't see it on the camera. There's another tree right there, so I'm like, I got about a 10-foot gap between trees here. That'll work. This third one, I'm gonna have to go down there to cast it, walk it back over here. Well, that wasn't great. My bait hit the water at such an angle, it's almost like you're skipping a rock, and I think it did skip a little bit when it hit the water. That's not ideal, but I'll leave it for now. And I was about to make some more bait before those people showed up, so let's go ahead and do that now. Surprise, surprise, old-fashioned oats, sweet feed pellets. I think I'm gonna go peachy today. Sliced peaches, yellow cling peaches in 100% juice. And I love these easy open cans. Whole thing, juice and all. And I'm just gonna kind of mash those peaches up with my hand before I get too into mixing. I'll just kind of smash them, squeeze that juice out of them. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of vanilla too. I don't know why. Just kind of random, I don't think the bait matters that much. What else should I do? Should I do some chili powder? Make it crazy? Should I just do like everything
bait, a little bit of everything in there. We'll just go with peaches and vanilla. Good. Just let that set up. I'm gonna have some lunch. Alright, well, I showed you how I made my bait. You wanna see how I make my lunch? In here we have some foliage. That is some lettuce and cucumbers. Looks like I got frozen a little bit in my cooler. And some red onions. And to that, I'm going to add some croutons and bacon bits. And then I'm going to add some tuna. That's right, tuna. A lot of people don't like it, but I do. It's good for you. It's good protein. Two of these little packs is the equivalent of 1 can of tuna. When I make this for myself at home, I just dump in a whole can of tuna. It's like 30 grams of protein, I think. Next is some dressing. This is some roasted onion vinaigrette that I made myself. I'm liking the homemade salad dressings lately. And of course the fork. There's been quite a few times where I brought a salad for lunch and forgot to bring a fork. And yeah. Break up the tuna, get that mixed up with the dressing. And then I kind of do it like the carp bait. Put the lid back on. And give it a shake. And there we are. Nice, healthy, delicious lunch that is good for me and won't make me feel like crap for the rest of the afternoon after I eat it. I'll feel good. Something happening here. Oh yeah, we're hooked up. This is my third rod that I kind of have in its own little place. I don't know what I got here. It's not fighting very hard. It's kind of letting me pull it in. Oh yeah, it's a carp I just saw. Just saw his yellow lips come up to the top of the water. Been here about 2 hours. Had a few bullheads messing with my lines, but nothing else. Oh yeah. Alright. Yeah, there you go. Now he's waking up. Real shallow over here. I think this whole bay over here is no more than 2 or 3 feet deep. Oh man, is it a mirror? Come on. Oh, got him. No, it's not a mirror. Thought it was for a second there. Okay, first post-spawn carp. Just a little guy. He was probably one of those little guys I was chasing the big females around when I was here a couple weeks ago. But he bit on the tiger nut. Again, it's been about 2 hours since I got started fishing here, and I've been seeing lots of jumping fish that are around. But you know, I was getting to the point where I was just wanting to catch any fish, and this one fit the bill, that's for sure. Back in the water. All right. Good luck to you, crazy fish. We're getting in the middle of the afternoon now. It's about 2 o'clock, and just washed my hands. The water's noticeably warmer than it was about 3 hours ago when I first got here. So hopefully the bite will start picking up. Jeez. It's like a giant flock of penguins just landed behind me.
penguins. Pelicans. Correction, these are pelicans, not penguins. I think I said penguins. But they all came splashing down. Kind of startled me. I was like, what in the world was that? There's a lot of them. A lot of penguins. Penguins? Why do I keep saying penguins? A lot of pelicans for a little lake like this. I wonder if they're doing some kind of mating ritual or something here. This seems kind of strange what this tight group of them are doing. Come skiing in. They're really getting into a tight group here. Huh. Crazy penguins. Well, I've got a slack line here. Must have happened just a minute ago when I was looking away. Yep. Fish on, fish on. I got headphones on, but I'm not listening to anything. I just put headphones on to keep the gnats out of my ears. See if I can get this fish in the net without snapping them off. Got him in the net. Also, not a mirror, but fun fish nonetheless. I'm really wanting to catch a mirror today. I caught one in this lake last year. I know those chances are slim, but just knowing that they're in here. He got himself off the hook. That's convenient. All right, second fish, a little bit smaller. They're getting smaller. Also not a mirror. I was really hoping to catch a mirror out of this lake this year. I'm gonna keep trying, of course. I caught one in this lake last year, so I know they're in here. Even though the chances are slim, it doesn't hurt to hope. Oh, I got another fish. Another fish. I'm gonna put this guy back in the water real quick. He's nice and lively. There he goes. Let's see what's happening with this. The line is just slack. Yeah, there's nothing on this one. False alarm. That's real. That is real. Just casted that out. Water warming up in the afternoon, the action's picking up. Going down the cliff here. This guy's getting in some branches over here. If I don't hurry up and horse him. You're really trying to get in there. No! Oh, whew. That's pretty amazing. Fish in the net. There you go. Now let it all out. There you go. Okay. Well, this fish has got something strange going on in his tail. Big sore, big lump in the by his anal fin there. You can see a lump on both sides, and there's some kind of a sore there. I'm not gonna mess with it. It was a good fight on this fish. Almost got me tangled up in some trees. But back in the water. Go tell your grandma to stop by, will ya? See ya. Oh, I just broke the surface out there. Yeah. They're just coming one after another now. Trying to get in those trees over there. No, you don't. I'm gonna horse you out of there. You better believe it. Gotcha. Also got a stick. All right. Oh, we've got a fish over there now too. Yes, sir, we do. Yeah, I got a fish on the line over there. Okay. What to do, what to do? I think what I'm gonna do. Alright, got the hook out of that one. I'm gonna leave him in the net. And come over here to my other rod. Grab this rod and let's reel up the slack and see what we got here. Yep. Just wanted to leave that first fish in the net and I'll bring this one in and we'll look at them both at the same time. Got him. Got two fish in the net. Two fish in the net. This one's a little bit bigger. Okay, here's the first little guy. And second little guy, he's a little bit bigger. This is probably the big fish of the day. Probably around 5 pounds. He put up a good fight. You know, if the carp are spawning at your favorite lake or reservoir, you're gonna pick up and go to a different lake. They might not be spawning there. You might be able to find some active fish. I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Go ahead. See ya. See you next time. Well, welcome back to another exciting episode. Carp fishing today. The hook bait is banana flavored feed corn. And we got a little bit of wind here today. We got a little bit of waves crashing on the shoreline here. Not too bad though. And I actually prefer a little bit of wind because the gnats can be especially bad at this place if there's no wind. I'm gonna put some stuff on anyway. This is the best stuff that I found to keep gnats off. Bug soother. I just keep refilling the small bottle. I buy it in big bottles and then just keep refilling the small one to keep in my tackle bag. I just spray some on my neck and my head and my hat. It smells pretty good. It's got like vanilla and lemongrass and I don't know. There's no DEET or any of those chemical stuff. It's all natural. Works pretty good. Not so much for biting insects, but it does keep gnats out of your face pretty good. Don't want to get that stuff on your hands before you bait up though. Now I gotta wash my hands. And by wash my hands, I mean dip them in this filthy lake water. Pack bait is left over from a couple days ago. Oats and sweet feed and boiled feed corn. The sweet feed pellets have mostly crumbled and disintegrated into powder, and that works actually really nice with the oats. The sweet feed kind of acts like an anti-caking agent, I guess is what I might call it, because I can pack, once the sweet feed is disintegrated into powder, I can pack this as tight as I want. And out in the water, this will just melt and dissolve after it hits the bottom. That's going to be the rig, pack bait, a couple of kernels of boiled feed corn on the hair. Spawn's all done at this lake. I caught fish here, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, I think. Not casting a long ways because it doesn't really matter. It's pretty much all the same depth out here for the Probably 200-300 yards out, about 3 or 4 feet of depth. Yeah. Yes. We are in business. And it is not a small fish. Oh, it is not a small fish. It's going off to the left. Just cruising off to the left. There is a lot of weight here on this. He's in my other line. Tail hitting the line. It's right here in front of me. It's right here in the water in front of me. No, stay here. He's right there. First he went to the left, then he went to the right. All right, come on in. Oh yes, that's a big fish. Get in here. Get in here. Gotcha! Yes. First fish of the afternoon is in the net. Yeah, he's hooked real good right in the corner of the mouth there. Nice. I'll get a weight in the net real quick. This fish is not quite as big as I thought it was. About 10.5 pounds with the net, so it's probably a 9-pound fish. Well, this is a great start to the day. Starting out with this 9-pound fish. Gave me a real good fight. With this wind blowing, this carp pull and drag, I don't know, it just makes for an exciting situation. I know the lighting's not great here, but you know, guess what? I'm not a professional YouTuber, so great fish, great start to the day. I'm very happy. Let's put this guy back in the water. Yeah, I think there's some, yep, see that? Spawn going on still. Yep. Huh, okay. Alright, get out there and do your thing then. See ya. There's fish of all sizes in this lake. Last time I fished this lake, I caught a bunch of little 3-4 pound fish, which are a lot of fun too. But there's also, you know, there's 30-pound fish in here, but you just got to kind of sort through the dinks. And that was a good fish. 9-pound fish to start off. That's a good fish. Yeah, they like that banana corn. You know what else likes banana corn? Flies. Yes, they do. As soon as I open this jar, they just attack. Just about 30 yards out there, that's where I caught this fish. 30 yards straight out in front of me. Probably about 2.5 feet of water or so. That was a violent tug and then nothing. I think what happened is the fish just swam through my line and got spooked. I'll check my bait. Yeah, I got no bait. The hook bait is gone. Okay. Glad I checked. Yes. Yes. Gotta give him a little drag, but not too much. Got a pretty decent fish on the line again here. I was gonna grab the net, but I'm gonna wait and see how this is gonna pan out, because sometimes I need to land them over here, sometimes I need to land them over there. Yeah. Oh, come on, bring the wind back. Ugh, getting gnats in my face here. The wind just died all of a sudden. He's off to the right. He's trying to get under the trees over there, I think. It's probably about 15 yards off the bank here. Oh, he's right here now. Getting in my other line. Right in front of me now, right in front of me. Oh yeah. It's a good looking fish. Come on. Yes! Oh yeah, he's in the net. Let him take out some of his energy there. Want to thrash a little more? No? Yeah, okay. Alright. Just gonna take a picture and then I'll put you back in the water, kid. Yeah, this fish is a little bigger. A little bigger. Right in the corner, just like the last one. Yeah, I suppose I'll get a weight on this fish. Why not? Huh? Probably about the same as that first one. A little closer to 11, right at 11 with the net, so it's a 10-pound fish. Yeah, fish 2. Nice big, long torpedo 10-pound fish. I'm guessing this is a male too, just by the body shape. Long body and not very tall. Pretty big shoulders on this fish though. Ah, gnats. This is great. I'll take these 10-pound fish all day long. These are a blast. Back in the water. Get you out a little bit farther there. How about it? See ya. Thank you. So I just casted the middle rod back out, and I just noticed this one is just completely slack. And I think there's a fish on there. Yep. Oh, jumped. I saw a fish jump right on top of that spot over there while I was rebaiting this, and I thought, hey, that's right where my other rig is. But I was waiting for the bite. Just a drop back bite, and I didn't notice it. This fish is swimming in with me, being very cooperative so far. Felt some tail hitting the line there, trying to swim the opposite way. I'm gonna freak out when he gets here right in front of me. He's right here. Oh, it's not a tiny fish. He was swimming with me so much I thought maybe it was a little fish, but he's not tiny. Come on. Gotcha. Gnats. He's right in the bottom lip. There's that 3 or 4 pounder that I was referring to earlier. He's probably 4 or 5 actually, but yeah, let's put this guy back. Hopefully he's got some grandparents around. Hopefully he's here with his grandparents, you know. Why is there a piece of broccoli right there? That is unusual. Huh. Okay. There you go. Ah, my feet are wet now. And that banana flavor really stays with the corn. I mean, it still smells like banana if I put my nose up to it. And it's been out in the water for probably almost 2 hours now. And just caught a fish with it, and I don't have to replace it. We have another contender. Oh, jumping. He's jumping. He's jumping. And he's running to the left. Come on in here, fella. Are you a mirror or just a common? Let's find out. I haven't caught a glimpse of him yet. The water's too dirty. Yeah. Uh-oh. All right, now it's time to expedite this catch here. Get in here. Another rod just took off. I don't know if you heard that drag peeling right there. Got him. All right, that guy's in the net. And I'm just going to pick up on this one and just see what it feels like. If it's another smaller fish, I might just let him hang out. And there is no fish on this. Okay. They just keep on coming now. I think it's only been about 5 minutes. Yeah, another fun size 5-pounder or so. Good stuff. They just keep on coming. Back in the water. All right, get out of here. Bye-bye. Yeah, we got a real feisty something or other on the line here. Running with me. He's quite a bit down there. A little nervous. All right, here he comes. Oh! Come on over. That's a good looking fish. Gotcha. Yeah, a herd of fun size fish have moved in. This would be a good one for a catch and cook, maybe. Back in the water for today. All right, see ya. Bye-bye. Yeah, banana flavored corn, getting it done for me today. I have a video on my channel that shows exactly how I make these flavored corns. Feel free to check it out if you're maybe interested in making some for yourself. You can find the video from browsing through my channel, or there'll be a link down in the description with a playlist where all my bait making videos are. That's all the time I have for today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. I think I made a huge mistake by coming here today. As soon as I got here to this spot, there's carp swimming back and forth right next to the bank. I can't tell for sure if they're spawning or not, unless it's just they're just being active, moving around. They're swimming pretty fast. I don't normally see them swim that fast when they're just kind of browsing around, but they were spawning here a week and a half ago, and I figured they would be done, but they might be. Some of them might be. Maybe some are still spawning. I'm gonna fish anyway and find out. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and it's cloudy. It rained not that long ago, and so everything's wet. It's still cloudy and dark, but it's supposed to be a scorcher today. Highs in the triple digits, over 100. So I'm out here early, get a few hours of fishing in before it gets totally hot and miserable out. Oh geez, huge splashing. Yeah, there's two big fish right there. I don't know. Kind of looks like they're still spawning, but I drove all the way here and walked through waist-high wet weeds. I'm soaked up to my waist. I'm gonna fish. I'm not just gonna turn around and go home. Might as well spend a couple hours here. Oh, this big fish just swimming back and forth right in front of me. And this is banana flavored corn I'm putting on these hair eggs, in case you're curious. It's like June 13th, so it's pretty late for spawning for around here, but everything's late this year. Didn't really have a spring. Had winter weather all the way pretty much into May. Back bait, I made it the night before. It's just pretty much what's become my standard lately this year. It's just oats, sweet feed, and boiled feed corn, cream corn, and vanilla. I find it kind of amusing when people on the YouTube comments, some people get really irritated by the fact that my
baits are not like all neat and tidy and like perfectly symmetrical and stuff. There you go. Here's one for you. Here, let me make it a little better actually. Here. There. That's a beauty right there. That's a thing of beauty. Fish don't care about symmetry, people. I haven't seen any fish here in front of me for a while now while I'm baiting up. I think me walking around, oh, never mind, there's one. Thought me walking around the bank here kind of scared them away. Maybe they were just feeding. First bait's going off to my right here. Not very far off the bank. Maybe 20 yards off the bank, and I just felt it hit the bottom, probably about 10 feet of water there. Pretty much same deal with this one, except it's just going to be straight out in front of me, about 20 yards. Boom. About same depth. Really shallow over there to my left where this bait just went. That's probably only 2 or 3 feet deep over there. Here comes a couple of fish gonna swim by. See if this GoPro can pick them up. See them? They saw me. Oh, there's an even bigger one. Yeah, they're spawning. We shall see, we shall see. All right. We're hooked up. Oh, that fish just broke the surface. This is definitely a carp. This is way out there. I casted this line quite a ways out there. It's got braided line here, so I'm kind of not giving them as much play as I would if I had mono, because I don't want them to go off to the left over there, get in the trees. But this guy is actually moving off to the right, off this way, which is just perfect. Thought it was worth a shot. Fish here, even though it looked like they're spawning, there's got to be some that aren't spawning, and you know, I'm sure they do eat during the spawn, just not as much, you know. But this one's way out in the middle. It's way out there. It's gonna take me a while to bring him in. Just fishing with these 6.5 foot rods here today, short rods. He's kind of gone from straight out in front of me. He's kind of off to my right now. There's overhanging tree right here next to me that I gotta really, it's gonna be a problem. That's where he's going to. Come on over here. He's in my second line. Starting to pull drag there on that line. Yeah. Good. Get my net out there. Oh yeah, this is good fish. Here, buddy. Come here. Got it. Oh, he jumped right out of that net. In and out. I touched him. He's in the net. Whew, yeah. I think I beat the odds today catching a fish. Thought I'd just risk it. See if there's some fish that aren't too busy spawning. It's definitely not a PB or anything, but this is a big fish. He was hooked real good. He was hooked in the tough part of his lower lip there. I'm gonna get a quick weight on him. He's about 16 pounds with the net, so I'm gonna call it 15. And yes, I have weighed the hoop of my net. People say, oh, your net weighs more than that. No, I've weighed it with the hoop and with the handle of the net down on the ground and just holding up the hoop and the net. It's 18 ounces, so it's slightly over a pound, so I just subtract a pound.
And this fish is definitely doing some spawning. We got sandpaper on the head here. Right here, sandpapery. All sandpapery on the face. Great gold color on this fish. Really dark bronze. Super thick tail. Good fight on this fish. I was a little skeptical whether I'd get him in or not, but it happened, and I'm very grateful for it. Again, you got the sandpapery texture on the gill plate here and by the eye. So this guy's out chasing the ladies around. Took a break to snack on some feed corn. Thank you very much. Let's put him back in the water, catch him again another day. Yep, he's making a mess on my mat there. Yep. There you go. Get your nose out of the net, please. Then you can go. There you go. See you later. Thanks. So even though I saw that the fish were spawning when I got here, you know, I'm glad I just decided to give it a try, you know, because even though the chances are slim that I'm going to catch a fish when they're spawning, the chances are zero if I just turn around and go home. So I'm glad I stayed. That's all the time I have for today. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next one.